Well, adding some magic to our conversation here on the show this week are three amazing women treading the path where few have dared to tread. Meet my guests. Designer KRIYA RYNJAH, an alumna of Birmingham Institute of Art and Design, who is slowly churning magic from her maker space in Ri-Bhoi. Another Meghalaya-based designer who believes in responsible fashion at every step of her creation. And an entrepreneur behind the naturally delightful sips with a mission to preserve indigenous plants and improve livelihoods. Well, my first guest believes that slow design is mindful work. Tucked away in her home studio at Ri-Bhoi, she creates craft that is new but rooted in indigenous values, showcasing the beauty of the living materials that support and preserve progressive way of life. Say hello to my dear friend, KRIYA RYNJAH. So KRIYA, how and when did Biotic happen, and what does the name represent, if you will?
Thank you, Aaron. So there's a long history to this, Aaron, but I'm sure we are pressed for time, so I'll quickly answer your question. So as a designer, I was not, I never thought that I would end up working with bamboo. I have worked a little bit with plastic, I've worked a little bit with ceramic, I've worked with metal, but I never thought that I would end up working with bamboo. And I had left home to study design, and I never thought I would come back home as well to work with a material that grows everywhere in Meghalaya. So it so happened, I mean, we all have been, I mean, in the Northeast, we all know bamboo, right? We know it from childhood. It is always there in our homes, whether it's a modern home or a traditional home, whether it's in the city or in the village, we all know bamboo very intimately, actually. But I didn't have this connection, as in, I always marveled at how people used to weave these beautiful designs. Even as a kid, I would look at a basket and wonder how this was done, right? I'm sure we all have. But yeah, even when I started studying design and went to design school and worked with these various design houses, I never really thought of bamboo as a material. But it happened on a visit when I visited my parents when they owned this forest home where I'm currently living in Ri-Bhoi. That was when I really met bamboo, like up close and personal, as you would say it. I quit my job and I decided to. That was also when my daughter was born, and I decided to come back home, and that was when I started exploring bamboo from where it grows, from the earth, and that was when this word bah, as in my artisans are from Assam, so they call bamboo bah, which is the local name for bamboo, right? So they use it every day, they use it all day, and they use it all the time, that it became apparent that I would use this name actually for my work. So it became Ba. So that's the first part of the name. And Biotic actually was a new addition which I added just sometime last year when I started exploring other natural materials in my forest home, like grass, palm fronds, and I realized that actually bamboo was something that was going to lead me deeper into the forest. And so I think it became quite natural that I would extend my work beyond the realm of bamboo, and I would continue to do what I do with other materials as well, because I think once you understand one living material, you just have to have the same understanding actually with everything. It's nothing new.
So, with sustainability doing the rounds at almost every national and international deliberation, how do you see it manifest in the craft you're at?
So sustainability is become more like an overused word, right? It's kind of lost its meaning and purpose, I think, because everybody has now realized that the minute you tag your product as a green product or an organic product or a vegan product or a certified organic product, it automatically gets the radar and automatically sells in a certain price point, and it kind of qualifies to be this good product that you must have, right? But I think what we all must understand that it's not actually just being the material itself that certifies anything to be organic or green. It is the journey of that material from the source, which means from where you get it, till the time that it ends at your table or your home. So, for example, if we talk about even cotton, right, which the garment industry is using. So, how are they processing the cotton from the source till when it becomes a garment? So it's that journey that cotton is taking from the cotton fields to the garment, which then certifies it to be sustainable or not. So for me, bamboo again is a material that is, which everybody thinks because it's bamboo, it is organic and it is a green material, right? But that's not the case, because if you're going to douse your bamboo and if you're going to treat bamboo with chemical, then it's no longer organic. Then it's no longer, it's no longer food safe, right? If you're going to varnish it, put varnish on it, it's no longer safe. So then again, this whole thing about it being sustainable and it being green, it's no longer green, it's just greenwashing, right? So this is something that we need to really understand, because another thing which bamboo, which people are also doing, which is actually selling in the market, are these bamboo utensils and bamboo bowls and bamboo plates, which you're seeing, which are like really really beautiful designs, right? And then you think, wow, it's bamboo, but actually no, it's not bamboo, it's bamboo mixed with melamine, which has been compressed, which is then molded into these beautiful designs that you see. But that's not bamboo, that's another material altogether. So I think this is what we need to understand about sustainability. It is actually the journey of that material. How are you going to manifest it in that journey, and what's going to happen to it when you actually make a product out of it? So my whole idea is that, and my philosophy actually is that I keep it just the way it is. Why change it? Bamboo is not meant for everybody. Like, people think that they should get bamboo because it's a green product and it's a green material and it looks so cool if you have a bamboo toothbrush in your bathroom, or you have a bamboo and you serve drinks with bamboo straws to your guests. Yeah, of course it does look cool and it looks so nice, and bamboo has this warmth and this sense of wellness when you use it when somebody sees it in your home. But if you're not going to care for this material and the products that are made of it, you can't have bamboo. You're not the kind of people that should be buying bamboo, because bamboo actually is meant to make certain lifestyle changes. For example, you have to be willing to clean them by yourselves instead of waiting for your maid, or they're not, most of the bamboo products are not dishwasher friendly. You'll have to hand wash them. You'll have to uh, research and look for milder soaps to use, like vegetable fruit soaps to use, natural soaps to use to clean them. You can't use your harsh dishwashers on them. You can't. You have to take out time to care for this material. So if you don't have the time and you think you can't make these lifestyle changes, you should not buy bamboo, because that's what it is. This material can go on to become an heirloom. Like, for example, Aaron, in your house that you still have some baskets that are probably dating back to your grandmother, your great grandmother time, which are still handed over to your parents and then now handed over to you, and they will look beautiful in your house, whether it's a modern home or whether it's traditional home. Bamboo has this timeless look to it, right? Yeah. So even my bamboo bowl, they can go on to become heirlooms, but again, it depends upon how you are caring for them, because people think, okay, how long will it last? Well, that depends on how you take care of it, because I have done everything that I could. I have naturally processed it. I have finished it with food safe oil. I have used my hands to carve it and to polish it. Now it's up to you. I have put all the care instructions in my products when people buy my products. So it depends upon them now, how they care for it. And if they care for it, the longer it will last, the longer it will be passed on.
I reckon that sculpting is time consuming. It can take days, months, and even years. Now, how do you conceptualize a collection? Walk us through that process.
So before I start talking to you about the collection and the design, I really like to stress on the process, because the process, as in the treatment of the bamboo, which has to happen before any conceptualizing of any collection can happen. So the most important part of my entire process is the treatment process, which takes me about half a year actually to get by. And it first starts with harvesting the bamboo at the right time. And this is we usually do this at the end of the dry season and the beginning of the monsoon. So it's just around April when we do it, just before the bihu starts. Because when bihu starts, is that's the time when they are not cutting bamboo. And the bamboo that I work with, I work with many species of bamboo, but my main bamboo that I work with is the dragon bamboo, which comes from a village in Assam. So we harvest this bamboo at a particular time, and then we soak it in water, in forest stream water, for about 3 months, 2.5 months to 3 months. This again depends upon the monsoons, as in how much water, how much rain we have. And if it's too much, then within 2 months is good. If the rain is scarce, then we have to stretch it to 2.5 months. To just before it's reaching 3 months, we finish the soaking, the soaking process. The soaking is for the bamboo to let out all its starch, and to so that it can become like pest free. Basically, now the bamboo is ready. It's given off all its, like we say it, if we have to say it in a layman language, it's given off all its food. It's got now just a framework to work with, right? So now then this we air dry and we sun dry. And sun is also not direct sunlight, it's shaded partial sunlight. And then we smoke the bamboo. Yeah, and this is again a traditional smoking method, which I've taken cues from traditional smoking methods. I built my own smoking house, and that's where I smoke my bamboo. And then it's again air dried and sun dried. And then we stack it in shelves that we've made. My entire workshop is filled with shelves in a way that the bamboo should be comfortable. Basically, my whole thing is that the bamboo has to be comfortable. It should be like it's in a kind of a, it's in holiday, right? It should be pest free. It should be dry. It should be happy. And that's when the material is basically there, and then it's ready for us to start our carving and working with it. For as of right now, I think you have seen some of my work, Aaron. You've seen the bowls I've made, and most of them have been inspired by the the flora that grows around in my forest home. So it's like wildflowers, a blade of a grass blade. There's just so much. So and then that kind of like sometimes you could be inspired by just maybe a shape of a grass, and then you could be inspired by a cluster of some of grass growing together. That itself can become a collection. So design only happens if there is curiosity. You will only find if there is curiosity. And that's what my work is. It is curiosity driven, it is material driven. And because of this, I think I continue to discover, and I continue to explore every day. I'm just naturally driven. I can't stop. So at most of the times I really try to project this forest home where I live. I try to project this Ri-Bhoi, this land where I call, which I call my home. And that's how my collections have just evolved, I think. Yeah.
Now, in your opinion, what can startups and even big brands adopt to ensure sustainable or ethical products?
I think we first need to have that relationship with the earth, no? And then everything becomes very easy, right? When you have a connection and when you feel for what you are taking and what you are giving back, then only will you know, and then will you feel that the honesty, basically, that yeah, I'm going to do this with sheer honesty. I'm not going to just put a tag that says my product is green. I'm not going to get a organic certification and have a better sale of my product. I'm not going to do this, but I'm doing this out of this sheer connection that I have for the earth, for the love that I have for it, and for the gratitude for what it's giving me. And I want to give back in some way. And I think when we start doing that, then I think everything becomes more clean, more clear. And what I would like to the message to be put to all the startups is that why don't you just look at the back end of craft, of how work happens, because and that is when you'll really truly realize your journey. As if you're planning to get into anything that is green, like bamboo or any fiber, any natural plant fiber, anything, go into the back end and try to research the traditional ways of using it and try to see how you can use those traditional methods to make modern products that fit in today's homes. But don't just like go to a source that's going to give you like 1,000 straws or 1,000 toothbrushes, which you're going to come and take photographs and put in your website. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I mean, maybe it's working in terms of money, but it's not working for the earth in any way.
Having known you for a while now, I get a sense that this is not just a one-man project and that there is involvement of other people and even family at some level or the other.
Yeah, so to start with, I mean, let's start with my mom and dad. I think they've always they say I'm mad. I'm just mad. You know, that's the word that they use, and that continues till today. Even today, when I told them I'm having this talk with Aaron about bamboo, oh God, bamboo again. You know, like so yeah. So I get this every time, yeah, and. Me wearing my bamboo jewelry, even if it's a wedding, you know, people are wearing gold and I'm wearing my bamboo jewelry. So I get it all the time that I'm mad about bamboo. And yeah, so but they have been very, very supportive. I mean, I am living in my parents' farmhouse. It's a forest home in Ri-Bhoi. So the space that they've given me it is actually this home that has led me to explore and to understand bamboo in a way that I would have never understood from the confines of a small office or from from a cubicle. I would have never understood it. I would have gone forward and worked on from 3D softwares, from 2D softwares and sketches on my sketchbook, and I would have never, I mean, have formed a relationship with this material and understood it so deeply as I have done from my forest home. I mean, I now know how bamboo culms looks like from the inside, from the outside, what I can do with nodes, how can I split it, how it smells. I mean, these are the tactile processes that basically drive my work. So I'm very grateful to my mom and dad for the space that they've given me and for their continuous support for my work. And my husband has been also a big driving force in my work. He's been a constant support. I mean, and my daughter, she's been an inspiration. She's been a distractor. She's been everything, you know. She's been in and out of my workshop ever since she's been like a toddler. And sometimes there has been lots of challenges also with her at work, but I've learned to work with her. And I think sometimes she also gives me a lot of perspective as well, you know, from her little play. And I think they are so free children that they won't have any, when they think, they don't have any restrictions. They will never tell you that you can never make anything big or you can't make anything very small. They will just think anything they think is possible, right? And I think that has also opened up my mind a lot, when I think that nothing is impossible. You know, you just have to think it, and if you think it, you can make it. And I owe that to my daughter for all her imagination, and all her magical thinking, you know. And I think it all adds up to my work. Yeah.
So what's next for KRIYA and Barbiotic?
So right now, if you check my Instagram page, you'll see a lot of work on bamboo, just bamboo. And but I have started exploring other materials, and I want to basically do a combination of bamboo and other materials, and just also explore other materials like working with invasive grass, which we are cutting off and just mulching. Even grass can be turned into beautiful baskets. Last year, I made a beautiful Christmas tree. You can check it on my Instagram account with grass and it wall hanging. And I think there's a lot of possibilities, and I look forward that even if I don't, I feel that even if I don't remain in one place, and I shift, maybe my home will be another place somewhere else. But as long as I stay connected with the earth, and as long as there are living materials around me, I will always find something to do, and I will always, my creativity will always manifest its way in other materials. So I look forward to whatever the future brings in terms of wherever I go, that whether it's here or whether it could even be my husband's home. in France, but I see that I will be still continuing the work that I'm doing. I will still be exploring natural materials. I'll still be working with them. What I would like to do is basically educate a lot of people also to take pride in their natural surroundings. Like for instance, I have a very small team of artisans, but I feel that working with them into 3 years, I have led them to visualize design and also understand and take pride in what they know in their relationship with natural materials, because people from rural India, I mean, rural India or rural anywhere in the world, people are living close to the forest, have such a deep understanding of natural materials. Like my artisans, they never had any formal training in bamboo, but they all knew what bamboo was. They all know how to split bamboo. They all know what happens when you cut bamboo in a certain way. They have this knowledge which we people in the city don't have. I mean, we lack this, and this is actually what knowledge is. No, it's not what books are going to tell you. If you don't know how to live with the earth, if you don't have the connection, then what's all the education all about?
Remember that everything we buy has an impact. Hashtag take care to make. Well, KRIYA RYNJAH, what a pleasure. Time for a very quick break. We shall return with the designer behind the eponymous clothing brand, MALLAI. Don't miss it. Now, welcome back, viewers. My next guest draws her inspiration from the rich traditions and folklore from Ri-Bhoi district. Her deep love for aesthetics and heritage is just sublime. Let's meet the responsible creator, MALLAI. Eva, first of all, welcome to Showtime. Thank you so much for being here with us. Let's cut straight to the first question. Tell us a little bit about your clothing brand, what it stands for, and what is it all about?
My clothing brand name is Skinny Ho, which means these are the ones. I work exclusively with Aero Silk, using the skills of my own community weavers in Umden. So we weave our own fabric, we dye our own yarns. We sometimes spin our own cocoon. So we get the yarn, we dye, we weave our own fabric. The idea is to blend traditional textile into something contemporary for modern woman. So it's an amalgamation of heritage with modern aesthetics. That is about Kiniho. And recently I also launched a new label, a sustainable label by the name MALLAI. MALLAI, it's a sustainable label that works with sustainable materials and techniques, with the idea to present textile and clothing not just as fashion but as a piece of art with a strong perspective. Right.
So you've already said a little bit of what the brand stands for and what MALLAI is also about. Now tell me, what sets this brand then aside as compared to other brands?
Well, I feel the first one is because I work with my own yarn, our own locally produced Eri silk yarn, which I'm sure the texture would be quite different compared to what you get from other states. And the second one is because I create my own textile using the traditional skills of my own weavers. So I feel that makes it unique.
Okay. So Iwa, fashion is so fast-paced. What's in today is out tomorrow. So what does one need to do to be relevant and stay on top of the game?
Definitely, fashion is fast-moving, as we all know. But my advice for someone to stay trendy is to go with what they truly believe in, right? They should not buy clothes just because it's of the latest trends, but they should know what to choose. Right? They should think about the sustainable and the sustainability and the ethical practices that involved when making the clothes. So I feel this is very important, and everyone should feel responsible of the clothes they choose to wear, because that impacts others.
Exactly. So that brings me to my next question. What role then does consumers play in making fashion brands accountable for what they produce?
Well, consumer plays a very important role in a fashion industry. When the demand is more, fashion industry creates more, which means more energy consumption, more laborers, more hazardous chemicals releasing in our environment.
Yes.
But it doesn't end there. All the clothes that are getting made will go to landfills, end up going to landfills, because not everything will get sold, right? So consumer plays a very important role, and they have the power to demand the fashion industry to change their perception on fashion and to create them more sustainable and ethical clothing.
Now, if you see a lot of celebrities upcycling their clothes, be it at events or be it at red carpets, how imperative is that intervention, first of all? And do you see a lot of people follow suit in the sense that, you know, you buy less, shop less?
Well, I definitely feel with more events and awareness as such, it will definitely help some people, if not the mass, to realize that swapping clothes, reusing clothes,
Repeating
whatever you have, it's good. So I definitely feel that it will have a great impact to the mass, and I'm sure it will someday become a trend to swap your clothes, to recycle, to reuse. So as we all know, media, high influential person, and also fashion magazine plays an important role to create such events and awareness.
So, you know, that brings me to my next question. How strongly do you feel about vocal for local?
Going local makes you know the roots of your clothes. You know how ethical and sustainable they are. Unlike you buying clothes from big brands like H&M or Zara, where you don't know where your supply chain comes from, the roots of the clothes, where they're made, who made them, what's the condition, what's the working condition of the people who made your clothes. I'm not sure how many people know about the Rana Plaza story in Bangladesh, right? Thousands of people died, and it was a garment factory building that collapsed, and thousands of them died. It's a place where big brands made the clothes for cheap. So we need to know about such things. And not only that, what about the mental, the physical, the sexual abuse the workers go through day-to-day basis because of the poor working condition. So because of such things, consumers should realize and they should morely support local brands, because they know the clothes. They know the roots of the clothes and who made them. And not only that, it can also help their local community uplift their livelihood incomes.
So, Iwa, do you think there is a need right now for all stakeholders to get involved for fashion to move forward here in the region?
I definitely feel there's lots to do by the stakeholders in our region. In terms of organizing events, awareness and fashion weeks. But more important, I feel stakeholders play a very important role to make a change, a great impact in the fashion industry. Not only the consumers, not only the brands, but everyone who gets involved in the fashion industry. But I feel what's more important is that stakeholders should create an environment to promote changes in the industry with more efficient and effective process, which is with social and sustainable practices. Invest in clean technology, fashion businesses to change their business models, and consumers should change their buying habits.
Walk us through the latest collection.
Latest collection of MALLAI is Cocoon. Cocoon is an inspiration of my own personal journey, how I felt far away from myself, looking for a place of comfort, a sense of belonging, only to realize that true sense of belonging is when you present your true authentic self, when you learn how to embrace of who you are as a person. So that cocoon reminds me of home, shelter, a place of comfort, a place of acceptance. So that's the inspiration. The silhouettes are in the shape of cocoon. I incorporated zero waste draping techniques to reduce wastage of fabric and to stand by my design philosophy, and that is to reduce wastage, zero waste production. I used unbleached, undyed air silk fabric in Cocoon collection to stand by the concept that I have, that is to reduce wastage, because even though I work with natural dye, you still have wastage of water, wastage of ingredients. So to strongly stand by the concept for the collection, for the Cocoon collection, I choose to use unbleached, undyed air silk fabrics.
That brings me to my last question, Eva. What's next for you?
We have a new collection in the line with an inspiration from a Khasi folklore that's going to be released very soon. So do check out and about my new collection in Instagram. We are in Instagram and Facebook by Kiniho Clothing. And I also have my own walk-in studio here in Limekra, which is near Women's College.
All right. Well, Eva, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm so excited to see the new collection.
Thank you, Aaron.
There is no better time than now to push for change, and there is no better place to start than your wardrobe. Eva MALLAI, thank you. We will slip into another short break. Up next is another genius who's driving progress from the ground up. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, viewers. Now, from crafting infusions with indigenous plants and refreshing flavors, Elizabeth YAMBEM, founder of Dweller, wanted to do something to uplift indigenous plants for sustainable livelihoods so that indigenous plants and memories don't slowly fade away. Well, first of all, Ellie, when and why did you decide to give Dwellers a form?
Thank you. Well, I started Dweller in 2016. However, the first year was mainly spent on research and product development. So I was in Guwahati learning about tea and doing my own testing of, the indigenous ingredients at the Food Processing Institute there. And we were able to launch our products in the market in June of 2017. And coming to, why I decided to start Dweller, I would say that It was, purely about, doing something about what I believe in. I believe in valuing our local resources and making use of what we already have around us, and creating new opportunities to grow in the community. So coming to tea, we all know that tea is one of the local strengths of the Northeast region. However, we also have an abundance of indigenous plants that are yet to be shared with the world. And so, Dwella is about introducing the authentic taste and benefits of these indigenous plants, locally grown fruits, herbs, and spices in the form of herbal infusions and blends, and at the same time preserving the indigenous plants, because the traditional knowledge and memories associated with indigenous plants, they are slowly fading with each passing generation. So that's why I decided to start Dwella.
Walk us through the sourcing process of the produce.
Right. So the sourcing process depends on the produce. For example, we have local grown ginger, turmeric. We source directly from the farmer groups in Manipur. And for roselle, which is part of the hibiscus family, it's an annual plant, and we give seeds to the growers, and we buy back the produce at the time of harvest. And for indigenous producers such as Nongmangka, it's a traditional medicinal plant. So we collect the leaves from the villages, and we've started planting them as well. And we also partner with women gatherers who supply us the indigenous fruits such as Indian olive and sumac berry.
Now, what sets Dwellers apart from other brands in the market?
There are many brands in the market, and what we're trying to do is to create our own identity, and we are creating a new category within the tea industry with a range of indigenous herbal teas and blends. So our teas are with indigenous fruits, herbs with traditional medicinal benefits and stories from the place of origin. And we don't have any added colors, flavors, or preservatives. They're made with simple and real ingredients.
Now let's talk a little bit about the health benefits of the teas that the brand offers.
Right. So we have a range of products. So our best-selling flavors, some of them are roselle with Indian olive, Nongmangka ginger, green tea, sumac berry, and spiced hot plum. So not many know of Indian olive, sumac berry, hot plum from the Northeast, India, but they are packed with antioxidants, and they're great for digestion, and they're also very refreshing to have. And similarly, Nongmangka is a traditional medicinal plant. It's known by the dwellers of Manipur for its antiviral properties. So we have an age-old ritual of sipping the infusion or inhaling the steam when we feel under the weather, when we have cold, cough, fever. So I would say that we have a range of products that you can start and end the day with Dwella tea, and depending on different kinds of benefits that you're looking for.
You also have cafes operating in the region. Where are those cafes located, and what's the USP?
Well, we currently have cafe in 3 locations, 2 in Manipur, and 1 we have a small setup in Shillong. And the reason why we exist and what we're trying to offer is that we're simply going back to to the roots, to the simpler times, because we have been using the indigenous ingredients, local materials such as bamboo. They were all traditional practices and part of our daily life. We've been consuming them, using them since a long time. However, they seem to die down in modern times. And Dwella Cafe is about making customers feel that Dwella experience and go back to the simpler times with a cup of Dwella tea and local snacks.
Are you also available online?
Yes, we are available on our website and on Amazon.
So how has the customers' response been so far?
I would say that our customers' response has been very encouraging. We've had mostly repeat customers, and we genuinely care about our customers, how we make them feel with our products. And I feel that, our customers also, feel the same kind of, because of the kind of feedback that they share. And it's not only about the positive, but it's also about, the areas that we can work on, and that keeps us going. Yeah.
In your opinion, how does one sustain a viable business?
I think it's just there's so many ingredients in it in order to make it a viable business. But if I would say that to have the right product, to keep developing and improving on your product and have that product market fit, and to also focus on having a sustainable business model and the team to make it a viable business. Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about the team that you're currently working with.
Yes. So we are a team of 21 currently, and we we start from age 22 to 55. So there's so much to learn from each other, and we are kind of separated into different areas. So we have our team members in the taking care of the cafe, and we have the factory taking care of the food processing, the sourcing and making of the ingredients and blending and packaging them. And then we have a central team that looks after the whole operations.
What are some of the challenges you face?
I think there are so many different kinds of challenges, and it's really about us trying to find solution to those challenges. For example, starting with entrepreneurship, it can be quite a lonely journey, and not many people can understand why you're doing what you're doing. But it's really about having a very clear focus and reason why you're doing. So initially, when we started the indigenous producers, people were not valuing it as much. But then we believed that there's so much value in our local resources and our indigenous plants, and we kept focusing on on the product and quality and making more people taste our teas. So similarly, we right now would say the current challenge is the potential lockdown, which is out of our control, but we have to find solutions how we're going to keep going and keep supporting our team and our customers.
With COVID disrupting the world that we used to know, what impact has it had on the business?
Mm-hmm. So we still have our offline, component. So the cafe is yes, we have to, close down our cafe, depending on the restrictions and the lockdowns. But we carry on, online, and we have our offline, partners as well that, support us, and we are, maintaining those relations.
And Ellie, what's on Dweller's menu?
So I think I briefly mentioned it earlier on. I talked about some of our best sellers. We have the Roselle, fruity Roselle olive. That's Roselle with Indian olive. Then we have spiced hot plum, refreshing sumac berry, and Nong Mangkha, ginger green tea. So depending on your mood and at what time you want to have, so the fruity flavors, it's best had after a meal. It's just great for digestion, and it's packed with antioxidants. And we have, when you feel a little under the weather and you want something, that's, soothing and comforting, you could go with, Nong Mangkha ginger green tea. It's a traditional medicinal plant, which is known for antiviral properties, and we've been consuming them since a long time. So what we're trying to do is to offer these authentic, tastes and benefits of these indigenous plants, right from source, and we are preserving them and.
So if you were to describe Dwellers in a sentence, what would that be?
Okay, so Dweller is about serving you the authentic taste and benefits of indigenous plants while preserving them and uplifting the local community.
We reckon it's high time for industries and businesses to put people and planet before profit and growth. We need to repair our relationships with our products and our clothes throughout their life cycle. And we can start by appreciating what's already in our surroundings and ensuring that. Well, this is Showtime. I'm Lyngdoh. Until next Sunday, goodbye.